A gracious good afternoon once again. 'Tis I, Norton the First, Emperor of the United States and Protector of Mexico, with today's fantastic history vlog. This is episode number 12, August 8th, 2020. On this date in San Francisco history, a man named William Claude Duncanfield married Harriet Veronica Hughes. Now, that name may not be familiar to you, but perhaps the name W.C. Fields is? Ah, yes, indeed. They were married at the Methodist Church on Howard between 2nd and 3rd Streets. He was 20, his bride was 22, and at that time, the age for marriage, legal age, was 21. So they added 1 year to his and took 1 year from her. They were both 21. They got married. They had one child, William Claude Duncanfield Jr., known simply as Claude, but the marriage did not last. However, because Harriet was Catholic, they never divorced, and he actually supported young Claude for the rest of his life. We forgot an item from yesterday, 108 years ago yesterday. Harry Hay, the founder of the Mattachine Society and the Radical Fairies. Mattachine Society was one of the earliest LGBT organizations of the 20th century. It was his birthday yesterday. He would have been 108 years old. He was a resident of San Francisco in the 1930s. He and his husband, John Burnside, returned to San Francisco in 1999 after concluding that Harry was not receiving proper care in Los Angeles for his serious health concerns. He served as Grand Marshal of the San Francisco Gay Pride Parade that same year and died of lung cancer on October 24th, 2002. At the age of 90, his ashes were mingled with those of his husband, John Burnside, who would pass away later, and were scattered at the Nominus Fairy Sanctuary in Wolf Creek, Oregon. If you don't know much about Harry Hay, there's a wonderful biography called The Trouble with Harry Hay that I would strongly recommend reading. On this date in 1775, the first Spanish ship, San Carlos, entered San Francisco Bay. And on this date in 1730, Congregation Cherith Israel was opened, making it the first synagogue in New York City on Mill Street in Lower Manhattan. And for those of you of the Jewish persuasion, today is Passover, or Pesach, as we say, because I myself am Jewish. I'd attended Congregation Emmanuel when it was on Sutter Street in those days, but then I would attend church on Sundays to make sure that one religion would not get jealous of the other. We are having a wonderful Passover Seder, which is they call the Passover ceremony, tonight, but being these epidemic times that we live in, we're having a virtual one via a thing called Zoom, which I don't fully understand. And this was put together by Grand Duchess Judy Leff, a peer of the Empire. And so hats off to her for that. And by the way, speaking of hats, as you may have noticed, this one's a little bit different today. This is the old hat that I wore for about 7 years before I replaced it with the purple one. Thought I'd drag it out today, as it were. Speaking of which, don't forget, this Saturday we should be having the Countess Lola Montez back as a special guest. Also on this day, in 1820, the famous ancient Greek statue Venus de Milo was discovered on the Aegean island of Milos. That's the one without the arms. And on this date in 1879, milk was sold for the first time in glass bottles. Anyone remember that? That's actually made a bit of a comeback. So here we are, another vlog under the Imperial Belt. We want to thank you for joining us today. Hope you're enjoying the series. Stay safe, stay healthy, be kind to each other. A good afternoon to you, one and all.